I'm Alex.
And I'm Topsy.
And we're
Think the Beat podcast.
How are you, my darling?
I'm well. How are you?
I'm chill. I'm okay.
Looking forward to next week.
Yes, I'm moving to Coventry for work. Woo, for a show. I'm excited. I'm excited to just get away from London because I don't go on holiday that much. And you know I barely ever go on holiday. Yeah. I just don't have the time or the funds. So if you want to sponsor me, sponsor me.
But this time you're booked and busy.
Busy. I am busy. I'm trying to marry every kind of different type of creative outlet I have.
Yeah. And where can they find you? Where can they see you?
On my socials.
No. Why are you going to Coventry? So Alex is a bit humble, a bit shy. So anyway, if you guys like musical theatre, you want to see play on, our very own Alex will be in that. They're touring around the whole of the UK.
Oh, probably like 5 cities.
I mean, that's still a significant part of the UK.
Yeah.
So they'll be in a town or city near you.
And we will end in London, actually, at Lyric Hammersmith in January to February. So be sure to get your tickets. It's based on Duke Ellington, the famous jazz musician's music. And ironically, this is a music podcast. So get into your Duke Ellington. He's one of the OGs, one of the classics. And it's just a joyful play, done by Talawa Theatre Company, who's one of the biggest Black British theatre companies. So yeah, get into it. So that's what I'm doing.
Okay, I'm looking forward to it. I got my tickets. I'm watching it in Feb. So.
She got it before she even knew I was in it.
Yeah. I got the tickets and I was like, oh, Alex, I'm going to see this show called Play On. He was like, are you joking? That's the one I'm going to be in.
Because I told you about it.
No, it's true. Times. You told me about it. And then when I got the tickets, I just didn't put the 2 and 2 together because it's a relatively, well, it's not a new show, but it's new again.
Yeah. It hasn't probably been on stage for like 20 years. I don't even think it's been to the UK. So yeah, it's a relatively new show, but you enjoy it. Where street dancing?
I hope so.
Fun times.
Love that for you.
Yeah.
Are you going to like spin on the floor?
I'm going to spin on my feet, but I'm not spinning on the floor. Yeah.
So winter is coming. In fact, winter is here.
Well, to be fair, did I go to 2 raves? Yeah. Well, we went to Boiler Room. Did we ever talk about that on a pod? We haven't spoken about Boiler Room.
No.
But that was sick.
Yeah, we had a good time at Boiler Room.
Okay, that's sick. We had a good time.
You had a good time.
You had a good time too.
You had a very good time.
We both had a good time.
I had an okay time.
You had a great time.
I know I had a good time. I was actually just making friends, chatting away.
Round of applause.
And we bumped into Arminda.
Yes, shout out Arminda, OG raver of ours. No, it was a good time. It was a good vibe, good energy. Yeah, like the stages were cute. I wish we knew more people who were DJing or like on the set list. Obviously Giggs was there. Was it Giggs?
Yeah.
Giggs was there. He was dry. Sorry, he was dry. That wasn't a vibe. I don't know.
We didn't even stay. We stayed for like 2 minutes and then left.
Literally. Loads of people were walking away from his set.
Yeah.
And then we ended up going to pretend. I even forgot the DJ's name. So somewhere on my TikTok, but that was a vibe.
Disclosure. They locked it off after like. Did they even start?
They started for 10 minutes. So Disclosure had a set at Boiler Room, and there were surprise guests that were announced in the week, and they put them in the tiniest tent.
It wasn't even a tent. It was like a greenhouse.
A greenhouse. I don't know why they didn't put them on the main stage. But anyway, they had to keep closing off the greenhouse.
Yeah.
There was security there because it was getting overpacked.
Yeah.
And we were squashed. Outside the greenhouse. So just imagine how it was in the greenhouse.
Yeah.
And then the set got shut off.
Yeah.
They stopped. They put on their Instagram story, it was unsafe, yada, yada, yada. In my opinion, Disclosure were the biggest acts there. Why don't you put them on the main stage?
I guess because they were surprised.
But if it's a surprise, go on the main stage.
But they should have at least put them in like one of the, if they were going to put them in a tent, put them in like, you know, the tent where
Funky House was.
Yeah.
That was a good open space where they
Yeah.
could have put them, but they couldn't even give them that. So that was a waste of people's time, waste of people's energy, and waste of people's hype, because we were looking forward to seeing Disclosure, honestly. But I will say the act that actually saved the day was Marlon. Oh, there we go. Marlon Hofstadt and Malugi. They were the DJs that were that ended in the greenhouse. They were really, really good. The Florence and the Machine edit as well. That was sick. We had what's that?
Fergie.
Not Ferg. What's who
Black Eyed Peas.
Black Eyed Peas. Yeah, Pump It. There we go.
Pump it.
Louder.
Pump it.
Louder. That was a great remix as well that they did. So yeah, I mean, for me, it saved it.
Yeah,
it's
we ended on a high. Yeah, but are you going anywhere in the winter?
I'm going to Paradise.
What's that?
In Drumsheds.
Oh,
Jamie Jones.
I've not heard of this. Thanks for the invite.
Well, I ain't got a ticket yet, babe, but I'm going. But I'm going. So basically, Drumsheds have a season. You see, like Warehouse Project, they also have a season as well. And there's so many different events that's going on. I really want to go to see Jessie Ware, False Idols, and Romy. In Drumsheds, there's also cool. Paradise. So I will hit you up for, depending, because I know what you like and what you don't, and I know what you will vibe with, and what you wouldn't. So I will invite you accordingly.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but so yeah, a lot of stuff is happening at Drumsheds.
Oh wait, Paradise. Are they?
Babe, we went there in Ibiza.
Yeah, and then at Warehouse Project they also had like a stage.
Yeah,
got you.
Yes,
got you.
And they're also at Warehouse as well, Paradise. But I want to go to the one down here in London, so I'm excited for that. Warehouse Project and Drumsheds, their season. What about you? Anything this winter?
Nah, man, I'm staying indoors.
Church.
Yeah, church.
Yeah.
No, I think summer's over. I'm just gonna knuckle down and end the year just focusing on myself.
One thing about Topsy's the top liar. Topsy is out every single day.
No, I'm not.
After work, she's somewhere. I can't even reach her half the time. She'll be out at a club. She'll be out at a bar, at someone's birthday, someone's wedding, shaking the ash. You're somewhere. You're on holiday.
I'm in my house.
No.
I am.
Or you're in Wix.
Wix. B&Q, that's where you find me. B&Q and Wix.
Honestly, this girl goes out more than I do.
This week,
we are going to be talking about
bands,
groups, the drama of successful groups, and the impact on how the music is digested. Ooh.
I don't think there's ever been a girl band or boy band or mixed band, a band in general that's existed without some kind of drama, some kind of conflict, some kind of passer between the members. Whether it works out for the good of the band or the bad of the band, there's always something that happens. And we just wanted to look and analyze whether these things work in the band's favor or not. Whether it propels them or actually
affect them.
Yeah, is basically the start of the end.
And that usually happens. It usually is the start of the end. The only group I can think of who exceeded expectations and kept climbing was Destiny's Child.
Yeah. Destiny's Child, I'm so sorry. Once they got rid of those two other girls, do we even know their names? I'm joking. Latoya. Was it Latoya and
Latavia?
But
not too much on Latoya, because she had a #1 album.
Yeah, I'm not mad at them, but what I'm saying is once they left the band, Destiny's Child became Destiny's Child. Growing up, I don't think I even knew those two other girls were like in the group. I remember there was their music video where it was 4 of them. And then I remember watching, I was like, who's that girl? Is it like, is that like a feature artist or something? I didn't know. Because obviously, bear in mind, we were young.
Wow.
So when people say, oh, do you know who the other members, I'm pretty sure if I ask my sister, do you know who the other members of Destiny's Child were? No. They'll be like, there's only 3. There were only ever 3. But it's true.
Destiny's Child before Michelle joined was Kelly and Michelle.
No.
The others were just backing singers. That's what it came across as. And that's how they were treated because of her dad.
No, it's true.
Because of Matthew Knowles.
Yeah.
So Beyonce was the star and the lead vocalist. Kelly Rowland was second verse queen. And the rest got nothing. They just got the harmonies. But the harmonies were still Beyonce screaming on top.
Yeah.
So was it really a group or was it
Beyonce
Beyonce
and Kelly.
and plus one Kelly? Because that's what it gave. Until Michelle joined, that is when I personally saw all three key members.
And they all got to shine. Obviously, Beyonce was still the main one, but I guess they divided things a bit more equally.
Well, Michelle had the bridges.
Yeah.
Kelly was still second verse. I will do you.
It's the least I can do. Let me cater to you.
Listen, that bridge, iconic. Through with Love as well, iconic. Girl, iconic. Michelle brought an element of gospel.
She did.
And I think that's what elevated the group.
Yeah.
I said what I said. I think so.
Really?
I think so.
But I think they had really good harmonies, though.
Oh, yeah, they're brilliant harmonies.
I think with the other girls, it just didn't gel. Or maybe they just didn't have enough opportunities to show off their vocals. But I remember their Christmas songs. I don't know, what was it? Did they do On the First Day of Christmas? But their version of it.
Yeah.
Love it.
Do you know who also kind of elevated? Actually, I think they elevated. I want to see what you think. Take That.
Yeah, when Robbie left.
When Robbie left, they had You and me, we can ride out the star. If you stay by me, sky, we can rule the world.
So I'll be honest.
Progress, the album.
So I knew Robbie Williams purely as a solo artist. It's only when Take That did their reunion in 2006 that people were like, oh yeah, Robbie Williams' old band. I was like, Robbie Williams had a band? Like for us newbies, it actually did, like Take That coming back actually renewed their careers, but also kind of renewed Robbie's in a way. You know, sometimes when bands break up and then they kind of do like a reunion tour, us younger ones that didn't know about them before, we kind of like, oh, who's this? Then we go, first of all, we know their newer songs. Then we're like, let's go back and look at their older stuff. And then we now get a resurgence.
So with Take That, after obviously Robbie came back and Robbie left, I did do some digging into Take That and their history and like just the songs that they used to make. One of my favorite songs from back in the day, It Only Takes a Minute, Girl, to Fall in Love. Fall in love. Iconic. The video, they all look hot. They're all just jocks, like young
from
jocks.
Manchester.
Yeah, Manny boys. Yeah. And they're all just jocks and they're cute. And I understand the hype and the appeal of Take That. And what is so amazing with them is, you know how bands have a shelf life, an age shelf life, mainly for women, which I disagree with. But with men, they can still go even though they're older. So they got older. They released their albums with their songs, Have a Little Patience.
They became more popular as the older they got.
Still releasing albums as a trio.
Yeah.
Because obviously Robbie left again.
Yeah.
And then Jason Orange left years ago.
Yeah.
He just wanted a normal life. And now we don't know where he is.
What do you mean? As in like he's disappeared?
Don't know where he is.
Oh, as in people know where he is.
Yeah, they
wait, he's not missing.
No, babe, no.
The way you said it, it's like the world doesn't know where he is. He's disappeared.
That'll be worrying. That'll be very, very worrying. But he's just living a normal life.
Yeah.
And that happens to bands.
Yeah.
Where groups members leave and they say, let's have a normal life.
Or and then they lie and they don't really have a normal life. Zayn Malik. So One Direction, I think they're the greatest band in the history of the world. I think I think more than the Beatles. Think about One Direction. Well, let me land. When they were in their peak, the world was crazy for them.
They were unstoppable.
You couldn't run away. And they were doing every year, album. And you know, most people, off of the release of an album, maybe like 1 or 2 songs blow. One Direction, every album, but at least 5 songs were being just rotated on the radios. You couldn't escape them.
Yeah.
Then in the peak of their career, Zayn Malik goes, sorry guys, I want to leave. I want a normal life.
And
he didn't have a normal life. Within the same year, he released his own solo album. He released
Pillow Talk with Gigi Hadid in the video. And I'm sorry, Pillow Talk was the greatest solo member song to ever come out of a group like that. And I say that because their sound was very pop. My guy came out with some R&B pop tinged banger. So we'll be What's it? So we'll piss off the neighbors. That was a big, loud song, and he's screaming on the song. He's yearning. You know how I say R&B songs, R&B singers these days, you guys need to yearn for your partners. Zayn was yearning. Yearning and yearning.
We be yearning, not concerning. No,
what song is that?
Sean Paul.
Anyway,
but continue.
I'm not a Sean Paul guy. I do respect him. But because he also came from that heartthrob of a group, for me, it made me seem like he didn't need the group. But now that his music has dwindled so much.
Did you know he's released something this year?
Yeah.
I did not know.
It's very acoustic.
Very different. I want him to go back to the R&B. What he released was very much giving something like Niall would release.
Yeah, it's very acoustic, very guitar led.
I'm not sure if I like it.
Well, it's because he's in a different space in his life. He's a farmer now.
Where?
In his home.
Is it in the UK?
He farms, no.
Oh, in America?
I don't think he lives in the UK. But he farms because they've still in it.
Okay, good for him.
He farms. So I think like his music was kind of like inspired by that. I mean, his album, bar from the first one, didn't really do that well. But then even when Zayn left, One Direction still did well.
I mean, they only had one more album after that and they broke up.
But what songs were from that?
I have no idea because nobody cared. They weren't the same. I feel like when a band member leaves, it's just not the same.
Yeah.
And I feel like in One Direction, I feel like Zayn had one of the better vocals. He wasn't a good dancer, but he was one of the...
terrible.
I'll never forget.
The X Factor audition.
How did they let him get to the next round when his dancing was hideous?
So bad. But he had looks.
He's one handsome man. He's fine.
That's one fine man.
One fine daddy.
Jealous boy.
I sure he had his eyes.
Yeah.
They just look so innocent.
Yeah. And he just had the energy about
Yeah.
him. So when he left, do you feel like One Direction, what do you feel like One Direction became?
I feel like he gave the band a bit of
diversity,
flavor.
Yeah,
a bit of spice.
Spice.
Yeah, so I feel like once they left, they were very vanilla. I can't tell you what songs were on that midnight.
Drag Me Down. Nobody can drag me down.
Yeah, I hate that. Again, a very vanilla song.
Fair enough.
I think him leaving was the start of the end of One Direction. And I'm glad they kind of left it where they were at the peak of their career rather than trying to drag it on and we just got tired of them. So if like in the next 5 years, 10 years, One Direction said, oh my God, we're going to do a reunion tour, I think based on the legacy they had, we'd be excited for it. If they continued and then it just dragged, I don't think we'd want to hear from them again.
I didn't expect Harry Styles to do as well as he did. And I'm a Harry Styles fan.
I'm not a Harry Styles fan, but as in, I don't hate him, but he was never my favorite in One Direction.
No,
he was always
why.
He's always too hype. He seemed too energetic, like he was like. No, I'm joking. No, I'm joking. He was just always too energetic. It came across fake, or like he was putting it on. But the songs that he came out with after he left were very different for him. Like,
Sign of the Times was his first single.
Yeah,
brilliant single.
That one was, it's a sign of the times. Very different to what One Direction was putting out. Then Watermelon Sugar.
Yeah. It's, Adore You.
Watermelon
There's
Sugar.
so many.
Watermelon
There's a song
Sugar.
I love on his album called Fine Line, which is the title track of his album as well. Yeah, so he came out with a very different
But as it was, I'm so sorry, as it was, had the whole world spun.
It's not the same. It was a mediocre song.
But it was used in adverts. It was used in films. Like it was
everywhere. In a panto
that
I watched as well. Shout out to my friend Rosemary. She had to sing that.
Everywhere. Like the song wasn't bad, but it's just it took the world by storm, and I'm so surprised.
It was the song didn't go anywhere. In previous songs that he has done, songs have gone places, but that sonic soundscape of the single was just very much like this. But then also, I mean, it did really, really well, and he's one of the biggest artists of our generation right now. With the other members, they didn't do as well. I mean, they had decent success, like Niall.
No, I was gonna say when Liam first came out. No, wait, let me land.
That was British Justin Timberlake.
But his music was But I thought Zayn would have come out with what Liam came out with. The direction Liam went in, I was surprised.
Yeah.
Like, do you remember?
That down.
I wanna strip that down on me.
Terrible. Was that with Quavo?
That
was a terrible song. Let's be honest. Because it weren't him.
That's what I'm saying. The song itself wasn't bad. It's just, why was he singing it? It was very like...
Because we've never seen that side to you before, and you've never come across like that in the band.
It took me by surprise, and I think it probably took the world by surprise, so they didn't really gel with it. Okay, so based on that, I want to say something. Do you think often when people leave bands, it's because of creative differences? So like, for example... I mean, I know we talk about Little Mix a lot, but they always wanted to do R&B, but they were never allowed. Possibly Liam wanted to do R&B, because even Zayn was given, I want to do art. He even said he didn't want to do pop stuff. Yeah. He wanted to do other things, but again, they weren't allowed. So do you think differences in creative direction is why a lot of members leave?
I think, yeah. Obviously, when you're in a band, you have a certain sound that you need to adhere to that people know you for. Your individuality can only come out in probably how you dress or how you address the fans or how you come across in your own socials. I don't think that's the only kind of thing of why people break up, why groups break up. I also think people fight. Band members argue, band members fight. If you don't have that kind of sisterly or brotherly love, you're just co-workers. Girls Aloud were co-workers.
Yeah, even One Direction. They didn't know each other from day dot. They were put together by X Factor. So
just like Little Mix were, but they gave a sisterhood. But you can see they actually like each other. They still all talk now.
Yeah.
But with Girls Aloud, even though they were manufactured as well, that was more of...
They seem to have more of a sisterhood.
I don't think so.
Do you think?
I think there was a lot of competition. Well, the competition was between Cheryl and Nadine. They were never close.
Really?
And this is why that's why I think I'm not surprised that they ended where they did the first time they did. Because there was a sort of...
But it ended with Cheryl leaving, right?
Cheryl left and then had her solo career. Then they came back, they released 10.
Without her?
No, with Cheryl.
With her. Okay.
And then it disbanded again. It was just a whole heap of mess. But Nadine and Cheryl didn't get on. It's common knowledge. It's like Sugababes. Keisha, on recent Receipts podcast episode, she said that people always thought it was Heidi, that it was Mutia and Keisha that were like really good friends, and then Heidi was always on her own. No, she was like, no, Mutia and Heidi were really close.
Yeah, and she was the one on her own.
So I think it's also a relationship kind of thing in the group. If you don't have that solid foundation and solid clear view of where you want to go, do you disband?
Do you think it's wrong for members in a band to want to explore their individuality whilst being in a band? Because like you said, being in a band, you're meant to be cohesive. You're meant to be seen as one. Do you think it's wrong for band members to want to be seen as individuals?
No, because I want to. I want to see you as individuals in maybe how you dress, obviously how you carry yourself outside the group, but then also... When I'm seeing a band, I want to see cohesiveness. I want to see you all on the same page. Choreography, dress and costume,
so
energy.
So, for example, the Spice Girls, I think they did that very well in the sense that they all, Sporty Spice, Scary Spice, like they all wore different outfits. You never saw Spice Girls wearing the same outfit.
No.
They all had their own individual thing, but we knew them as the Spice Girls. Whereas a band like, let's say, Flow, every time we see them, they're all in the same color. Maybe one's wearing trousers, one's wearing a skirt, one's wearing like 3/4 lengths, and then they all have the same top. They very much don't give individuality. Like, we know they're a band, but we don't really know much about the individual members. We don't really see them move separately. They're always...
Renee moves separately. Renee's like the face of the group. No. She's the fashionista of the group.
Which one's Renee?
The dark-skinned one.
The short one?
The dark-skinned one. The darkest one.
Okay.
In the group. Because the others are quite fair. Well, one of them is mixed race, and the other one, I think Georgia must be mixed race as well, but she's kind of fair skinned. For me, I see her a lot on my FYP.
Oh, I don't see them as individually. I only see the group.
Okay. Is that a bad thing? Because we still don't know them that well.
I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I'm just saying how, like, different groups do move differently.
Yeah.
So is there one way to do it?
No. You need to find what works for you.
For your group.
For your group. The Saturdays, they were very much...
individuals.
It's because they weren't the most cohesive group.
Exactly.
But they
sang cohesively.
Oh, no. They didn't sing cohesively. They had their colourful tights.
You're thinking of that music video.
Up.
Yeah.
Yeah. And throughout for the majority of their career...
They kind of kept that...
They kept the theme of colours.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So they were cohesive in that way, but they still had their individuality. You can never say yellow was for Rochelle because they always mix the colours, which pissed me off. Stick to one colour.
No, I loved it.
Stick to one colour so I know, green is for Molly.
No, mix it up. And they could all pull off all the colours.
Yeah, they could.
Who's your favourite Saturday?
Vanessa.
Really?
Vanessa White. Vanessa White has pipes.
She does.
The strongest vocalist in the group.
Did she go to your school? No,
her brother did. Her brother went to my school. He was in my year group. She was the pipes of the group. She was the Christina of the group. She was the Beyonce of the group.
I liked Una.
Oh, Una was great too.
She was really good.
Very unique.
Yeah, she's a very pretty girl as well. I like Frankie, but that was just more nostalgia because she was on S Club Juniors.
That?
Yeah.
And her little pixie cut. Everyone had it. All the girlies had it. Who could style their hair like that?
I like her long hair on her though.
Really?
Yeah.
But this is what I'm saying. Like, when you brought up the fact, like, would you like to see them individual or their individuality? Frankie's was her pixie cut.
Yeah. But I think they did individuality very well. They weren't like, I don't think they ever did like group outfits where everyone was wearing the same thing, but just in different colours.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that worked very well for them.
And they had a long, successful career.
Yeah.
It took them like almost 10 years to have a number one. And they got that in the end.
They had
about us.
So many bangers.
That went to number 2.
I think we need to do an episode on the Saturdays.
Yeah. We need to put a bit more respect in their name. Their songs was palatable.
They were okay. They were okay. They had good songs.
Yeah.
They didn't take the world by storm, but they had good songs. Yeah.
They tried to. They had a show in America.
My favourite song by them is, I remember the music video. I think they're like in the desert or like on a beach. And it's, I miss missing you.
Sometimes I miss hurting you
when you cry. How can you tell me their vocals weren't cohesive? Come on now.
Because that song was auto-tuned to Russ.
I don't think so.
I'll play it for you.
I miss missing.
Frankie opens the song and she's auto-tuned so heavily.
Okay, we'll listen to it off air.
It's insane.
I really liked it.
No, I loved it. Don't get me wrong.
I love that.
I love their music. I've listened to all their albums. I love them.
And you know what? Nothing's wrong with a little bit of auto-tune.
No, because our new theme tune has a lot of auto-tune as well. It's because I didn't want people to know it was me. Disclaimer. But no, there is nothing wrong with a bit of auto-tune. But they were a great group and they just kind of went in a hiatus and never came back.
Yeah, but I feel like everybody wanted to explore things solo.
I feel like they'll come back. Rochelle won't.
Do you think? I think she might.
Rochelle won't.
But she doesn't need them.
No. And that's why I don't think she'll come back. She's got her hair care.
But that's the same thing with
products.
Posh Spice. Like Posh Spice didn't need the Spice Girls, but she still came back. She did it for the fans.
But she does love the Spice Girls, but she just wanted a different life for herself
and she got it.
Fashion designer.
But she's a fashion designer for the rich and fit. She's not for us regular people.
One cardigan will be 1K.
Do you know how much her clothes cost?
A lot of money.
I don't know if fairies are weaving them in the warehouse.
VB, but I don't see like big people talking about VB.
No, listen, people talk about it. Just ask. You know Van Cleef, the jewelry, the rich and famous have been wearing it for time. Like if you go back and look at the royal family, they've been wearing Van Cleef.
Really?
It's not for us. There's certain things that just aren't for us regularly.
Just one thing I want to quickly touch back on is about the Sugababes. And obviously Keisha speaking about her experience on the Receipts podcast. They were a group that also had their individuality. They were diversity before diversity was a thing.
Yes.
Because it started off with an Irish girl, a half Irish, half Filipino girl,
and a
Jamaican black girl.
Yeah.
That, and then obviously when Heidi joined, the Liverpudlian, and then as it kept going, it kept getting more and more lighter skinned.
I'm so sorry. Do we take that group? I mean, I love the Sugababes, but do you think people take them seriously? Because there's been so many members.
There's been 3 additional members, Heidi, Jade, and Amel.
It's a bit ridiculous.
In each era, they each have their respective hits. But I think as each era progressed past 2.0 when Heidi joined, it started getting more and more diluted. It wasn't the Sugababes that we know with the harmonies and the cool edgy vibe. They started dancing.
Ew, Sugababes don't dance.
Exactly.
What's going on there?
Sugababes 4.0, every time they performed, they danced. And it just, their music was very chaos. It was pop. It was manufactured. About a girl.
So,
you don't know about a girl. I'll take over the
I
world.
like that song though.
That was Sugababes 4.0. But you wouldn't know that was Sugababes.
Yeah.
Because none of the original members were there.
Exactly.
And that's what's sad. Instead, obviously...
They should have just renamed the band.
See, this is the thing. So when members leave and new members join, do you think a band should rename
Yes.
if there's more new members than old members?
Yes. Because you're not the same.
Okay.
Well, I was gonna take it back. Throwback. The Temptations.
Woo!
I'm so sorry. The Temptations can no longer call themselves the Temptations. There's only Otis Williams. Did he ever leave?
They all got replaced at one point.
Yeah. So then they're no longer the Temptations. Rebrand.
Do you know how many members they had? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13,
You're joking.
14, 15, 16, 17,
Nah.
18, 19,
There's
20,
about 6 bands in
21,
that.
22, and current members 23, 24, 25, 26, 27.
At that point, you could have had about 5 different boy bands in that. Don't get me wrong, I love the Temptations.
Mm-hmm.
Motown, one of Motown's biggest bands.
Mm-hmm.
But when you're just chopping and changing, you're infighting. Like at one point, didn't one person want it to be renamed?
One person wants to what?
One boy wanted to. Who was so? There was the original lineup. Then they brought somebody on. Was it Eddie?
I should know this. I'm a terrible person.
Alex was also in Motown, the musical.
But they didn't really talk more about the lineup changes. It was mainly in the Ain't Too Proud, the musical in West End. That's when they spoke. Yeah, me too. Yeah. That's when they spoke more about the lineup changes. So obviously there was loads of changes in the group. But do you think groups like that from that time shaped why the name shouldn't change? But then the Supremes became Diana Ross and the Supremes when other members started to go, like Florence Ballard left and etc. So
she was the main.
She was the main girl.
Person that stayed. Yeah,
she wasn't the Supremes. It was Diana Ross and the Supremes. And then when Diana Ross left, it was just the Supremes. But can you call the Supremes when the original members weren't there anymore?
Exactly. Like, why wouldn't you just start a new band? I don't get it.
I guess it's because you're carrying on
the
legacy and the foundation of it.
I guess so.
Because why would you want to start something new? People would be like, oh, another new band.
I guess so, but it basically is another new band.
Well, Sugababes did that. When the original members came back together, they were called MKS. Mattia, Keisha, Siobhan. Yeah. They didn't do well.
Because no one knew who they were.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So they had to fight back for the name and they got the name back and now they're like Sugababes. But then they're still like, who's Siobhan?
I can't lie. To me, this might be controversial, but to me...
Because it's an honest opinion.
The Sugababes is Heidi, Keisha, and Mattia.
Because that's when they were at their peak.
I don't know who Siobhan is. I'm joking. I know who she is, but I know who she is.
Siobhan is the founding member, one of the original founding members.
But I think she was there and gone in the blink of an eye. We didn't really register who she was. Yeah. To me, I think Heidi is a significant member of the band, and it's unfair that they reunited without her.
I don't think it's unfair.
They didn't offer her, oh, do you want to be in the band?
Because Sugababes started as Mattia, Keisha, and Siobhan.
And then Siobhan left, and they had...
That doesn't matter.
Most of their success. So what, is Siobhan going to be singing Heidi's parts?
She has been. They've all been sharing Heidi's parts.
Awkward.
But there's no bad blood between them. I mean, obviously Heidi and Mel definitely has problems with them, but I don't think that's a bad thing because even though they sing a lot of the hits that Heidi was on, Keisha and Mattia were still on those songs too. You can't leave those songs out and just sing stuff from their first album.
It's just a bit unfair on Heidi. Like she did work.
Unfair.
She did work hard for the band.
Yeah, we're not disputing that. Brilliant. She did a great job.
She's a significant okay, we can throw away Amel or whatever her name. Is it Amel?
Amel, listen.
Emile.
No, because Amel, because About You Now was their biggest single.
Okay, but I mean, she's newer to the group, so
Yeah,
I get it.
3.0.
I get it.
She replaced Mattia.
But and who's the newest one?
Jade. She came fifth on Eurovision.
Do you think she
and-
has a leg to stand on? I don't think she
No,
does.
she don't care about it.
Yeah.
She came in late. She only had like a year in it.
Yeah.
And she had a successful career even before joining.
I do think it's a little bit unfair. I guess Amel feels the type of way, but I do like. I know you said Heidi doesn't feel the type of way, but I feel for her.
You can feel for her. Loads of people do.
Yeah.
I have no qualms with it. Because they started off this group when they were 13, babe.
I know.
12 and 13. There is history there. And obviously they all came back together when all of the members were gone. I would find my way back to my original members. I naturally would. Over their first album was their critical One Touch. It was critically acclaimed. One of the most critically acclaimed album in terms of writing and delivery. Overload, that was Siobhan singing the whole track, or the majority, like the hook, the lead. So that was Siobhan's sound. Do you know what I mean?
And to be fair, they did write a lot of their own songs, produce a lot of their own songs. So it is to be fair, it is them. It's not they were here's this song you're going to perform. Like they produced the songs.
But then it happened so like that where they got given songs. They're all with Rock Nation.
Yeah.
It just got tarnished, but this is what happens.
But anyway, they're making a comeback, so we'll see what they're...
Been coming back. They've been very successful on tour.
Yeah, they're touring a lot, like going everywhere.
For years now.
But okay.
And I've seen them live, they're brilliant.
In saying that, yes, they've got the name back. Yes, they're the Sugababes, but it's like they're having to reintroduce themselves to the world. They can't rest on the laurels of the Sugababes.
Yeah.
Now you're going back to your original lineup. Cool. Half of us don't even know who Siobhan is, so you need to make us want to listen to you again.
Mm-hmm. And that's exactly what they're doing. And they've been doing this. Another reason of why bands don't continue is because of death. And as morbid as this sounds, obviously we had a member in The Wanted who died of a brain tumour, and Sarah from Girls Aloud died of breast cancer. Now, obviously Girls Aloud came back to do a reunion tour.
Mm-hmm.
The Wanted haven't come back, but before Tom died, they did shows, even as he was deteriorating. Really
with
badly.
him.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And they've not come back since. And I don't think they will come back. Maybe they will.
But I think for them, they're very much like, we're not the Wanted without Tom.
Yeah.
And I think he was, again, quite a prominent member in the group.
Mm-hmm. You think?
I think so.
It was always Max, Shiva, and
Tom.
Nathan for me.
No, I feel like Tom was a
Nathan
prominent
dated
member.
Ariana Grande, didn't he?
Yeah, I think he was probably the best singer.
He was the best singer, of course, yeah.
But I think Tom was quite prominent.
He was like the Louis of One Direction, in my opinion.
No, the
how I saw
one with the
him.
curly hair was the Louis.
That's Jay.
Yeah,
You think?
I think he was the Louis.
That was a Niall.
Okay, maybe. Nah.
But do you think they should end because of...
I don't
Arson?
think the Wanted have enough hits in their arsenal to come back.
And
Without
if you
Tom.
know...
And do you get it from an all-time low?
I'm in
Pieces.
I remember where I was in my room and I saw that video and the song and I was like, who are these
Okay,
men?
if you ask most of the general public,
I think
that's their only song they
No.
will be able to name.
Glad You Came
Okay, fine, those two.
and Walks Like Rihanna.
I don't know that one.
I can't sing it to you, but I know the name of the title of the song.
I
So-
don't think they have enough hits to come back. And I don't think they should.
You had to be a certain type of...
You had
Okay.
to be a stan for the Wanted to be into them. Like if you weren't their stan, you wouldn't know about
If you
them.
weren't a directioner and you wanted to rebel, you would go with The Wanted. Because they had a lot of fights, The Wanted and One Direction, and I loved it.
the battle of the British boy bands.
British boy band
Ooh, there's
beef.
a lot of bees.
A lot of bees. And a lot of beef as well.
But I think the Wanted, I think their legacy ended. We love that for them.
We
And
can move on?
it should stay there.
Okay,
Yeah.
we can move on.
Yeah. Do
Good
you
for them.
agree? Do you want to see them come back?
No, but I wouldn't watch them.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
like
I don't
their
think they need
music.
to.
I like the music. but I
Yeah,
wouldn't-
let's just let it
wouldn't
be
watch them.
historic. Let us go away with the feelings we had with them and,
Okay, so Danity Kane.
Child.
that is a band with beef. That also started with management. And I think we forget that a lot of these groups also have to deal with management who fuck them up time and time again. It's not them calling the shots, it's management calling the shots. And Diddy was one of them.
Yeah.
I don't want to talk about Diddy, but in terms of the girls beefing, because to be fair, their departure was obviously partially due to Diddy, but also to the group members not liking each other.
Again, they were another group that was put together on making a band, P. Diddy show. And you know what? These shows, in theory, should be great. You put people together that should hopefully harmonize, sound well together, but also you don't take into account personalities. Personalities will clash. People are going to want to go in different directions. People are going to have different thoughts and ideas on what the band should be.
Mm-hmm.
And I think their management was very much in control. I think the management basically owned them. It wasn't like, oh, we're going to put you together and then you guys go off into the world. It's literally, we've manufactured you. We own you. You're going to do what we say.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And that's basically what they were. However, when they had also shout out both of their debut album charted at #1 on the Billboard 100, or the Billboard charts, and their second album also debuted at #1. Both their albums consecutively debuted at #1, and they were the only group to do that, female band to do that. Why would you end there? That's what bothers me the most. But again, loads of things are out of their control.
They've tried to regroup. They've tried to reunite. They've done it a number of times. They've even renamed themselves DK3.
No, that was the name of the album.
No, they tried to come back.
No, I know.
And then I
was a fan of them at that time.
Okay, no, but they tried to come back. There's 3 of them as DK3. No.
Mm-mm.
3 of them tried to come back as DK3.
That's incorrect. I'm telling you that's incorrect. They came back as 4 of them. Yes. With Andrea. Then Andrea left and they named their album DK3. They didn't try to come back as DK3. The album was called DK3.
Okay.
I'm telling you this. What they did come back as, separately, was Aubrey and Shannon came back as Dumb Blonde. They had a duo. I liked their EP/album. Very different. Don't know where Shannon Bex is right now. But
she's also missing.
She's missing too. Dawn, she's always been independent doing her artsy avant-garde stuff. She's killing it in her own respective field. But they came back as a foursome, then they ended up as a trio, and then they split up before the DK3 was released. Do you know why?
Yeah, because one of them left again because they couldn't get along.
But do you know what happened?
No, what happened?
Aubrey O'Day, you're a naughty girl. Aubrey was caught re-recording over Dawn's vocals on a DK3 album, and they had beef.
Didn't they have a physical altercation?
Yeah.
Like hands were put on each other.
Dawn punched Aubrey.
Why was she re-recording her vocals?
Because she's shady.
I know.
See, also, look, if you don't get on in groups, call it quits, or at least be amicable. But you have to have that level of respect of each other instead of doing shit like that. Why are you beefing? That could have been one of the biggest comebacks, and they fumbled the bag. But they should have left it when Andrea left.
Yeah.
For the second time. You should have just left it. D Woods didn't even come back, bro. Where is D Woods? Juanita, where are you? She didn't even come back. She said, I'm out. Pussycat Dolls did something similar.
Yeah, Pussycat Dolls. I mean, were they a band? Wasn't it just Nicole Scherzinger and her backing dancers? Not in a horrible way, but it was. Like, she was the only one that sang. Melody tried to sing. She was a good singer, but she tried to have parts. And they... What was that performance? Where they were performing at an award show.
Yeah.
And she literally just went off on her own.
Yeah. She burst out on stage. Nicole was not having it. People kept saying she broke out of the closet that Nicole locked her in. And then came on stage. I was like, I'm here, bitch. Honestly. And just the reactions on that stage was chaos. But obviously, Pussycat Dolls, they start as, they are a burlesque group. That's how they started. They weren't supposed to be a music group.
Yeah, I know. So, I don't know. It should have just been Nicole Scherzinger and her dancers that she's always with. Because the others too...
that wouldn't sell.
The others didn't sing.
They tried to. The others, Carmen can sing.
I'm telling you to listen up, my
Kimberly said,
buttons.
Buttons, iconic. Iconic
Like,
song.
don't sleep on their dancing.
No.
No one can touch them on dancing. But singing abilities, it was just Nicole. And she's mediocre at best. Like, okay.
Oh.
Yeah, she's mediocre at best. Like,
do you think Nicole is mediocre?
Yeah. There's like, decent singer, I wouldn't write home about her.
Well, she's killing it in the musical theatre again.
Good for her.
She's doing Sunset Boulevard. She's won an Olivier here. She's going to Broadway right now. She's going to win a Tony.
Not in a horrible way, but I don't think her voice was anything special.
It wasn't special, but she has pipes and she can really sing technically really well. She trained as an opera singer first. She's a technical singer, but I wasn't the biggest.
But a technical singer doesn't really translate well to pop.
No.
It was just.
But you knew that was Nicole singing every time you heard a song.
She was the only one singing.
Exactly. And you knew her voice. But that's quite sad, isn't it? Melody as well. She didn't come back when they came back. And then they disbanded.
I can imagine they probably didn't invite her to come back.
She didn't want to. Maybe she weren't invited, but she also said that she didn't want to.
But I think that's the problem as well with groups. Like when you put one person as the main, like ego does get involved.
Yeah.
Especially if that one, and it's unfair on that person because they might not have chosen themselves.
Yeah.
But the other band members do start to feel left out. Like same thing with the Supremes. Diana Ross was made the main person. It wasn't, she was given that spotlight. She didn't take it. She didn't want it, but that's what they did. Same thing with the Pussycat Dolls. What other bands have they done it with? Even like Destiny's Child, they kind of made Beyonce the lead, which kind of prompted her to go on her solo career. So I don't know with the Pussycat Dolls. I mean, great hits. I just don't know if they worked as a band. They
didn't.
And there was too many of them.
6 of them.
It felt like more.
Yeah.
It felt like there was a lot. It just felt a bit chaotic at times.
I love the Pussycat Dolls. I mean, I think they had a great career, but also that's the problem. Great songs, but that is the problem. Nicole was the front runner and they never really give the others any time to shine, unfortunately.
If they did a reunion.
Well, they did, and they came back. They released a single called React, a video without melody, and then they were about to go on tour. COVID happened. They never came back.
I think if they did come back, a residency in Vegas would suit them well.
Do you think? Were they that big?
No, but they could. Okay, maybe not a residency, but like maybe like a show,
one-off performance.
Yeah, like because they would give us a good performance.
Yeah, they would. Well, Nicole will give us a great performance.
The dancers would also.
The dancers.
Yeah.
Name them by their name.
I don't know their name. The dancers.
Ahmed, Jessica, Melody. You feeling me? Hat. Yes. Sorry, iconic. Oasis, they beefed too.
I don't actually know too much about Oasis, so you're going to have to tell me about them.
Well, Liam and Noel Gallagher and the rest of them. I don't want to speak about it now on this episode because I want to read more and learn more from other people who do really like Oasis. Don't get me wrong, they have bangers. Absolute. Me and my brother were singing them in the car the other day. And Wonderwall as well. I listened to one of their albums recently, randomly, just Oasis. But yeah.
The British people love.
In terms of the X Factor acts, we don't really speak about One Direction on the pod. We speak a lot more about Little Mix and Fifth Harmony here and there. We haven't dived into them.
We're going to do a deep dive.
We have to do a deep dive.
But go on. No, I was going to say, with Fifth Harmony, love them. When Camilla left, again, the start of the end.
Yeah, okay.
It's true.
And
Camilla wasn't the best in the group, but
I don't think she was the best. She was the most unique.
Her solo career, I think, overshadowed the rest of the group and what they were trying to continue.
Yeah.
That in the end, it was just like, let's just go our separate ways.
Now her career is just kind of plateaued. It's just not gone anywhere.
I mean, but she's had an amazing career for the last 5 years.
She's still performing at the VMAs.
Yeah.
Still, even
to be fair,
this day.
Artists do need to rest. I think she's resting. She's cooking.
She just released an album. What are you talking about?
Oh, wait, what album?
CX.
Oh, okay, but that one didn't do very well.
No, it didn't.
Yeah, but before that, she took a little bit of a break.
No, she had another album.
When?
Familiar. Yeah. That was...
Oh, yeah.
That album. It was a cute album. And then before that, she had... I'm shameless. that song, I don't know why she released that as a lead single. That was really odd. But that was from her second album. I forgot the name of it. And then her first one, obviously, titled Camilla.
With Camilla, I like her. But I think when she first launched her solo career, it just overshadowed the rest of the band. And they just...
Well, babe, she released a solo career in the band. She was with Machine Gun Kelly. Bad Things.
Do you think that's... Oh, did she want to leave the band at that point?
Well, she weren't. I feel like she always... Listen, they were all individual artists and that's what they wanted. They never really wanted to be in a group. I think they used the platform to propel themselves. Camilla was one of those. What I feel like also management saw her as star girl. Even on X Factor, even on X Factor, Demi Lovato was like, only one girl shined for me. And Khloe Kardashian was like, Demi, who are you talking about? And Demi was like, you. And it was Camilla. Simon saw money signs. L.A. Reid saw money signs from this one girl. I feel like management saw that too.
They just saw money.
They saw money. They saw the next new pop thing, and Fifth Harmony was kind of shelved. They didn't really do... Their third album was the best album, I think, of them three, but didn't do really well. And that's the problem. The only other artist that did well, which I don't know what the fuck she's doing right now, is Normani. But the group as a whole in its entirety plateaued or started going down, just like their single, Down, 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 long as you're loving me, down, 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 I'm gonna keep loving you. Terrible song. As a comeback, when Camilla left, and you're doing down, down, and they had the nerve to shade Camilla.
I remember that performance. It was 5 of them. Then one of them fell off. I think they were wearing like these shiny silver outfits.
Like space kind of outfits. So that's disrespect. If you're going to shade them, at least have the hits to back it up when the members left. But then after that, they disbanded.
Which I think was good for them.
So when the star members of groups leave, they either fans follow them or fans are just disinterested now, because that happens to Spice Girls.
In general, when a band member leaves, I don't think it does any favors for the band. There are exceptions, but I think generally when the band member leaves, it's kind of signaling the end of an era. However, I do want to mention, sometimes when band members do have conflict, it can work in their favor. So, for example, I mean, this is not really internal band member conflict, but when Little Mix released Shout Out to My Ex, people got reignited, got re-excited about Little Mix because they were like, oh, are they talking about Perry's ex, Zayn and Gigi? So I do think sometimes when there is internal conflict, it can work in their favor. When they release songs, us as fans, us as listeners, we can sort of think, oh, are they talking about their actual real life situation? They might not be, but we just take a deeper meaning from it. And sometimes that can propel them even more career-wise.
Which it did for them, because Glory Days was their biggest selling album with 5 hits in a row.
Yeah.
Massive. That made them worldwide. But then also I think it depends on the group.
Yeah.
It depends on how the public view those members and view the group in its entirety as well.
Because when Keisha left, the media basically pictured her as the problematic one, the one causing all the issues. We need to get her out. She's not conducive to the group. So it can also work negatively.
Which I think that's so unfair. But then also getting rid of the last founding member who's been there from the very beginning, there's also something dodge going on there.
Oh, she even said it. They didn't even tell her. They texted it to her.
But then Amel has gone on a rant saying that isn't what happened. She thought she was invincible. She posted that on the Receipts podcast Instagram post. And I think obviously there's 2 sides to every story that we don't know. But I don't believe Keisha will come here and talk her truth if it weren't the truth from her end. She said she has receipts that she's recorded on camcorders and everything. We may never know the full extent, but also, as we said, it can always impact you negatively as well. Nsync. Did Justin Timberlake's solo career impact him?
The thing, Nsync, Justin Timberlake leaving Nsync was the worst thing to happen to Nsync,
NSYNC.
but the best thing to happen to Justin
him.
Timberlake. He's had one of the best solo careers in the world.
Yep.
Like, the world loves Justin Timberlake. Hasn't he done a Super Bowl halftime show?
Yeah, where he ripped open Janet Jackson's tit.
Let's not talk about it.
And now she's cancelled. Well, they tried to cancel it for years, but carry on.
But yeah, so sometimes, it depends on which side of history you're on, actually. Whether leaving the boy band propels you to success or is the start of your downfall.
Mm-hmm.
So, in conclusion...
Creative conflicts, in conclusion. First of all, make sure you have a nice solid foundation in the group. And even if you are a manufacturer, take the time to get to know each other. You may not always get on with the person because of personality conflicts and whatever it may be, but you need to respect that the person next to you is trying to achieve similar goals to you for the band.
Because you're all there to work. Like, I think people forget it is a job.
Mm-hmm.
You wouldn't go into your office and start undermining Karen who sits at the desk next to you. So
we can still undermine Karen. Because you talk too much.
But you still respect her. You send her a strongly worded email and be like, Karen. And then if it, escalates, you sit down with HR.
That is very, very true.
Oh, Alex, what are you listening to right now?
So I want to shine the spotlight on FK Twigs, Eusexual. It's a rave underground inspired song that's coming from her album Eusexual. And the song is so delicate, but then it has this kind of Euro ravey sound beat underneath that crescendos throughout the whole song. The video is incredible. She sings another single that we haven't heard yet on that. She is, in my opinion, she's the modern day Bjork, an avant-garde artist who doesn't go with the norm.
Okay.
She does what she feels like she wants to artistically. And don't get me wrong, there's been a lot of times where I'm a bit like, I don't want to listen to this. It's not for me. But then it makes me uncomfortable. That's what she wants. I'm ready for this new FK era. Yeah.
Okay.
What about you?
So there's this artist called Doechii.
Oh,
so
yeah.
I actually first discovered her from her song Slide. And I remember I listened to it and I was like, okay, this is a bop. And then I never heard of her before, so I did a little bit of digging. And then now she's on the new Katy Perry song as a feature as well. So she's like she's up and coming. She's about to blow.
Well, she ain't new.
Yeah, she's been around.
Yeah.
But she's like, we're really starting to hear more from her. Dark-skinned black woman. Yeah.
We absolutely
doing her
love.
thing. She's got a really beautiful voice. Like, I'm excited to see where she's going to go. But yeah, that's who I've kind of recently discovered who I'm listening to at the moment.
Love a bit of Doechii. Well, we've come to the end of the episode. Woo! Where can we be found?
You can find us on social media on Instagram. Oh my god, my mind's fucked. You can find us on Instagram, TikTok at Sync the Beat Pod. You can find us on YouTube at Sync the Beat Pod.
Or just type in Sync the Beat Podcast, it will come up.
Yeah, you can literally find us everywhere. Where else can we be found? Oh yeah, Spotify, Apple Music,
Apple Podcast. I hope you enjoyed this episode.
Yeah, thank you for staying with us to the end. I hope you did stay till the end, and more to come.
Ooh.
Peace out.